everybody, Lord Tremendous here. Got another battle report here for you. 2,500 point battle. Lord Tremendous, that's me, of the Warriors of Chaos, versus General Fancy Pants of the Empire. And I call him that because I'm sorry, as I do see what some of the people's debates were on my Empire book review. Generals in the Empire suck. And my opponent here takes a General of the Empire, and so I'm going to make fun of it. I don't care. Not my opponent. My opponent's a good guy. But the General of the Empire? No, screw it. Fancy pants. He's got a feather in his hat. La-di-da. My list is, well, you know, it's changed up just slightly. But yeah, here we go. I have a Sorcerer Lord, Lord Tremendous, with the Mark Zinch. He's a level 4 wizard. He's got the Disc of Zinch, Enchanted Shield, Staff of Sorcery, Talisman of Preservation, Flaming Breath, Third Eye Zinch, and Lore Zinch. My hero choices have changed after Berserk's performance and the Skull Caddy. I decided I didn't need them anymore. I got rid of them, and I threw some different stuff in here. Not the Exalted Hero Lady Elizabeth, though. She stays in there, and she stays the same, because when she's perfect, you don't try to improve upon it. She's got the Mark Zinch, she's got the Chaos Steed, she's my BSB, she's got a Halberd, Helm of Many Eyes, Dawnstone, and Poisonous Slime. I have a new Exalted Hero, Cost the Spoiler. This is an honorific for him. My buddy that I met over at the Shiloh or whatever, he was my round 5 opponent. He is putting a Mutolith Vortex Beast in his army, and he's going to name it Lord Tremendous. So I decided to return the favor and add a unit of Nurgle Knights to my list with an Exalted Hero of Nurgle named Cost the Spoiler. That's his moniker on the Kotek forum, so I decided to use it on here as well. And using his real first and last name, I think might not only be insulting, but illegal. And so, barring all that, I just decided to use his stage name, if you will. But this is the kit that I put on him because I like it. If you guys have a better kit, or Kos, if you're watching and you would like to see a different kit on him, put it in the comment section below. I am willing to change his kit as long as, number 1, it's legal, and number 2, I like it. Don't be like, put the fancy thing on him that the what is it? I don't know, like the +1 attack sword or something. I'm not going to do anything like that. So don't ask. This guy has to kill. He's offense. But anyway, he's got the Marker Nurgle. He's on a Chaos Steed. He's got the Charm Shield, the Filth Mace, the Seed of Rebirth, the Iron Curse Icon, and Nurgle's Rot. And I really like that kit. The problem that I'm having is I keep forgetting that he's got Nurgle's Rot. So don't expect to see it a whole lot in the battle reports because I forget a lot. My core choices are 5 Chaos Warhounds, the Manipulative Mutts. I finally named them because they deserve a name. I have 18 Chaos Warriors, the Blood Tide, Mark Korn, Halberds, Banner Musician, Banner of Rage. 18 Chaos Warriors, the Children of Zinch, with Mark Zinch, Hand Weapon Shield, Banner Musician, and Banner of Eternal Flame. And I brought my Chariot back, and I named him the Fate Breaker because I think it sounds cool. There's no other reason. And he's got the Mark Zinch. My special choices consist of a unit of 5 Chaos Knights, Elizabeth's Honor Guard, with the Mark Zinch and Sorcered Weapons, Banner Musician, and the Standard of Discipline, and another unit of Chaos Knights, 5 of them, Cass's Corruptors. They have the Mark of Nurgle, they have Lances, they have the Banner Musician, and the Banner of Swiftness. I'm going to use my Nurgle Knights and Cast the Spoiler as flankers, basically. They're going to run down in there, try to get a hold of any kind of chaff or whatever with their movement 8, so they can move 16. They're pretty fast. They're extremely fast for Chaos Knights. Most people don't expect that. They usually expect something like you know, the reroll banner or Razor Standard, maybe even the Banner of Flame. No. And I give them Lances so that when they hit, because with movement 8 and Swift Stride, if I'm not charging with these guys, it's because either my dice hate me, I've gone full retard, or my dice hate me and I've gone full retard. Those are the only 3 excuses. So I want them to hit at strength 6. I want that punch from these guys when they hit whatever it is they run into, especially if it's a monster, you know, to run into like a Stegodon or a Carnosaur or anything that's a large target would be much better. I would even charge these guys into a steam tank just simply because I think it would be awesome to hit with that many strength 6 hits. But yeah, that's my whole idea behind Cass's Corruptors. Plus, I think the unit is really cool, and I like that I've got the buddy in the list now. And my rare choice is the one, well, not the one, the only, he's the new one, the Mutolith Vortex. gotta love the Beast. And I know I'm going to take some flack for dropping one of the Beasts out of the list, but the bottom line is, after playing a few games with the Double Beast list, while it was a lot of fun, I needed to drop the Beast in order to put a little bit more punch into my list. So by dropping the Beast and dropping the two characters on foot, I was able to put a beefier Nurgle character into the list, and then I was able to add a unit of knights and bring my chariot back. So it gives me a little bit more punch in this army, which is what I really needed, because I was finding that once I lost a unit, I was scrambling to keep up with whatever my opponents had left. So I like the way this list feels. I like the way it works out, and you'll see how it goes. My opponent's list, I got a picture. So this is exactly what he had. He had a General of the Empire as his general. Go figure. He had the title, so they figured why not. He had a shield, talisman of protection, and crown of command. Cheap, easy, and effective. And he had a battle wizard lord, level 4 wizard with talisman of endurance, the Van Horseman speculum, or as I like to call it, the identity theft item. Used the lore shadow because actually it's pretty good for Empire. His hero choices were a captain of the Empire, who was his BSB. He had the talisman of preservation and a potion of foolhardiness. Effective, why not? And then he had 2 naked warrior priests and 2 naked master engineers, because he had war machines and he had units that he wanted to give buffs to, and hatred. His core choices were a unit of 9 Inner Circle Knights with full command and a Banner of Eternal Flame, 50 Halberdiers with full command. That's right, a gaggle F of Halberdiers, because his units of measurement are just, I want to watch your jaw hit the ground. His special choices were a unit of 30 great swords with full command and a razor standard, and his rare choices were a celestial hurricanum, a steam tank, because every Empire army isn't complete until you have a steam tank. Even if you only play at 250 points, a steam tank is a 1+. And of course 2 Hellblaster volley guns, because if you're going to take one, you might as well get the pair. Here are my spells, 4 from the Lore Tzeentch, and of course the Beast spell. And here are my opponent's spells, 4 from the Lore Shadow, which works out just fine. Here's deployment. As you can see, I make good with my threats. I put my unit of Nurgle Knights with Cass attached on my right flank. The idea was literally to march them around and see what was going to be the better choice for them to charge. Either I was going to go after a Hellblaster volley gun that's right next to the ogre hut there on my opponent's side of the table, or I was going to try to run my Nurgle Knights with Cass around the hut and maybe get a rear charge on some great swords or some halberdiers. Whatever I could do, that was the plan. My chariot was placed there to give the Hellblaster volley gun something to shoot at. Bottom line was he was going to get one shot at it, and then I was going to charge until either I hit the damn thing or the halberdiers got in my way. The dogs were marching out in front to give the warriors hopefully some cover from the Hellblaster volley gun if they decided to shoot the ones that they could anyway. The Khorne warriors behind the dogs as always. The Tzeentch warriors were up front because I didn't really think anywhere else to put them. I thought if they could get into the great swords, they'd do good things. My Beast is over near where his Inner Circle Knights are and by the steam tank, because the hope was they would fail some toughness checks and, since it's no armor save, die. My Tzeentch Knights were going to try to deal with the steam tank, and my Sorcerer Lord was going to help them deal with the steam tank by shooting it with magic. That was the plan. That's why I set up this way. Here's my opponent's right flank from left to right. There's his steam tank. There's his Inner Circle Knights. There's his Hellblaster volley gun. He's got a little engineer behind the crew there of the Hellblaster volley gun. He's got a unit of his Great Swordman right there with his BSB, a Warrior Priest, and I think that's his level 4 Battle Wizard in there with the Great Swordsman. Behind them is his Celestial Hurricanum. Here's my opponent's center, which consists of his huge brick of halberdiers. He's got his General of the Empire, and he's got his Warrior Priest in there. I'm sorry, this is not where he doesn't have his what's it called? His Battle Lord in with the Great Sword. He's got him with the halberdiers. The other model must just be a unit champion or filler or something like that. Right next to them, of course, is the other Hellblaster volley gun with a couple of crew and the second Master Engineer behind them. Here is my right flank, which consists of, from right to left, my Nurgle Knights with Cass, and my Tzeentch Chariot, which is always good to see. I really love that model, and I love the paint job my wife put on it. I know, I'm bragging. I'm sorry. I'm a scumbag. Here's my center. From right to left, there's my Khorne warriors, minus Berserk. Thank God. Well, I say that because I'm mad at him right now. No other reason. There's my unit of dogs. My Zinch Warriors are next to them. My Beast is next to them. And here's my left flank. From right to left, there's Lady Elizabeth with her knights, and Lord Tremendous on his disc because he's awesome. So here's top of one after movement, and I didn't get to go first. Oh well. Not a whole lot of movement to be perfectly honest with you. His inner circle knights move up slightly, his steam tank moves up slightly, everything else pretty much stays where it's at. I think the halberdiers come up slightly. It's not a lot of movement. I was actually kind of surprised. During his magic phase, he gets that miasma off. I don't remember what exactly it is, but basically, he concentrates it on movement to my knights, and they lose 2 movement until his next magic phase. Not a huge big deal. I'm still movement 6. I can move 12. So now I'm thinking, all right, I'm going to put this guy in the halberdier unit and try to kill off his caster ASAP. During the shooting phase, I don't remember if it's the cannon or if it, like from the steam tank, or if it's the Hellblaster gun. I think it's the cannon. I'm almost positive it's the cannon. It's the cannon. His steam tank fires a cannon at my beast, hits, wounds, gets past the regen, but only does 2 wounds to him. So thank God for small favors, huh? After that, there's no combat, so we go to bottom of one after movement, and I get to go. My Nurgle Knights run up 12 inches, because that's all they can do right now, thanks to the spell. What's it called? My Zinch Chariot moves up towards the Hellblaster Volley Gun, because that was the plan from the get-go. The dogs move up. Everything pretty much moves up. Sorcerer Lord moves around to start attacking the tank. Beast runs around to try to get a hold of the knights. Everything's kind of going according to plan. I just was hoping that my Nurglers would be farther up. During the magic phase, I am able to get off, Bolt of Change on his knights and kill 3 of them. That was a glorious flank shot with the mobile bolt thrower that is Lord Tremendous. Killing off 3 of them. I don't do anything else in the magic phase, so when it's all over, he takes his toughness check and fails it. Thank you, Warp Flame. 2 more knights die horrible deaths. The Inner Circle Knights do take a panic check and pass, but bottom line is 4 Inner Circle Knights are all that is left. That was a great magic phase as far as I'm concerned. So we go to top of 2 after movement, and as you can see, the Inner Circle Knights charge the Zinch Warriors, which I'm perfectly fine with because now there's only 4. I'm pretty confident that I should be able to kill at least one of the Inner Circle Knights around until they're either all dead or they break from combat, and that's fine with me. Failing that, my Zinch Warriors are in perfect position to not only give the BSB reroll to the Zinch Warriors if they lose this combat, but if they win and stay, the Zinch Warriors will be able to charge into the flank of the Inner Circle Knights, and there's free points for me. His steam tank doesn't move up very far at all, and the rest of his stuff just kind of putters around. He doesn't really do a whole lot here. I don't know exactly what his strategy was. There's a better picture of his Inner Circle Knights slamming into my Zinch Warriors. During his magic phase, I actually let him get the miasma off on my Nurgle Knights again because I was worried about trying to stop his Occam's Mind Razor or anything like that. I didn't remember what the range of the spell was. I could have sworn you could buff it up, and I would have hated to see his Inner Circle Knights ended up with like strength 8 or 9 or something crazy like that. So that's what I was holding my dice for. He does get the spell off. They lose 2 movement again. I don't care. During the shooting phase, his volley gun ends up shooting only 6 shots. He targets both of them at my Corn Warriors. He fires this one, ends up doing like 6 shots because he misfires 1, and if you misfire just with 1 die, you end up having the amount of shots that you rolled, which is fine with me. And then the second gun, same thing. He rolls a 10, a 6, and a misfire, and he ends up only shooting 8 shots. So a total of, like 14 shots go into the Corn Warriors, and 3 end up dying. This could have been so much worse. I was very, very happy to see those misfire results on those volley guns. I lost 3 warriors instead of 13, so that I'll take. Shooting phase is all over, so we go into combat, and as you can see, the Inner Circle Knights really knocked the stuffing out of my damn Zinch Warriors. I do a bunch of wounds to them. I do. The Zinch Warriors do not fail here. Unfortunately, my opponent was rolling like a boss and ended up making every single one of his armor saves. Granted, it was only a -1. He had a 2 up. And he makes them all. It was unfortunate, but I'm steadfast and end up making this break check, which is good because We go to bottom of 2 after movement, and as you can see, these Tzeentch Knights slam into the Inner Circle Knights, and it's all over but the crying there. The Corn Warriors and the Dogs advance to get a hold of some Great Swords or some Halberdiers. I hadn't decided yet. The Sorcerer Lord runs up behind my enemy's lines to get a hold of the Steam Tank to start trying to put some damage on him. My Tzeentch Chariot charges and slams into the Hellblaster. I was so happy about that. And my Nurgle Knights run up to give some serious pressure to the Halberdier unit because they need to die. There's a better picture of the Tzeentch Knights slamming into the Inner Circle Knights, which I'm thrilled about. And there's a better picture of the Tzeentch Chariot debuting with a beautiful charge into the Hellblaster volley gun. So glad I put this guy back in the list. Nothing happens in Magic. I actually roll very poorly for Magic, and I don't have a shooting phase. So we go into combat, and as you can see, I'm able to kill 2 of the Inner Circle Knights, one of which Lady Elizabeth killed in a challenge, so she got a little bonus roll for that on the Eye of the Gods. The remaining Knights, I think, were not able to attack anything, but the Tzeentch Warriors were able to kill 1 more. I win this combat by a boatload. They break, they flee, and they actually got away. That was actually kind of shocking that they got away, but they did. However, they are below 25% now, and they need Snake Eyes to rally. So I'm thinking I'm sitting pretty right here. During that combat, Lady Elizabeth did kill the unit champion and get a reroll for her trouble because the gods weren't overly impressed. In combat over here with impact hits, they actually didn't do anything because I was up against the War Machine, which sucks. But the ensuing combat, he was able to kill off the crew, and I overrun... Boom, right into that stupid engineer. And what's best about this is not only did I get a hold of the Hellblaster volley gun and slam into the engineer, but now his halberdier unit can't flank charge my chariot, which means once I kill this engineer, I'm in beautiful position to either flank or rear charge the halberdiers, the great swords, the hurricanum. This placement of this chariot couldn't have been any better. So we go to top of 3 after movement, and his halberdiers make a charge against my knights. He needed an 11 or 12 to make it, so I'm like, stand, I'm not worried about it. He rolls boxcars. Couldn't believe it. So the halberdiers make it into the Nurgle Knights with lances. So yeah, I guess in this situation, the dice just hate me. I didn't go full retard here. In fact, I was slow with my move-ups. He needed like an 11 to hit me. I'm thinking that I'm safe. Nope, dice gods hate me, so the halberdiers make it into the knights, which really broke my heart. The steam tank comes up to try to deal with the knights, and the Tzeentch warriors actually, the great swordsmen, they start moving up to try to get in because they see where the corn warriors are going. In fact, the great swords, I believe, did try to charge the dogs, and the dogs fled. They tried to redirect into the corn warriors and failed. So yeah, that's kind of what the board looks like. Oh yeah, one other thing. The unbelievable Inner Circle Knights. Been through hell this game. They're down to 2. They're below 25%. He rolls Snake Eyes and rallies them. Who does that? Who does that? Yeah, boo that man. Ugh. Over here, here's a better cut picture of the halberdiers slamming into the Nurgle Knights, and I'm not completely uncomfortable with this combat. I think my Nurgle Knights are going to have a pretty good run at this. Over here, there's a better picture of the dogs fleeing from the charge from the great swords and then failing their redirect into the corn warriors, which was a relief, I won't lie. During his magic phase, he's able to get the big miasma off on the Nurgle warriors and lower all their skills by 3. What was it? Like weapon skill, initiative, movement, and something else. At this point, I didn't mind so much because I was worried about, oh man, what if one of these guys, like his battle wizard, like before, has the speculum or whatever, Van Horseman speculum or the identity theft item. I was worried about that, so I let this one go through just to see what would happen. Oh, I apologize, I didn't let it go through. It was a miscast. Or it was an irresistible force miscast thing. So, yeah, right there. He miscast 7. which is kind of cool because he ends up killing, well, thanks to the miscast 7, it ends up ending his magic phase, and he ends up killing 3 of his halberdiers, which is good because when there's 50 of them, I've got a lot of work to do. It does suck that the miasma thing got off and everything like that, but with the speculum, we'll see. You'll see. I know what happens, but you don't yet. Don't fast forward, that's cheating. But yeah, all said and done, the steam tank decides to fire its cannon, or maybe it's not the cannon. I think it does the steam shot or something like that. The whatever it is, the teardrop template on the knights. That or the cannonball. I cannot remember which. I'm sorry. But bottom line is 2 knights die. Whatever he fires at these guys, it's super effective. And he kills 2 of my knights. And that sucks a little bit. I won't lie to you. Over here in combat, it's a damn good start. He issues a challenge with his Battle Lord. My Exalted Hero has no choice but to accept it. It's unfortunate because if I had like a unit champion or something like that, I could have just laid waste into his unit, and with the Filth Mace, with my Exalted Hero, gotten Terror, gotten D3 wounds. It would have been great, but I didn't. Instead, I ended up really screwing this up. Well, I shouldn't say screwing it up. Instead, I ended up in a combat with my Exalted Hero with his battle Wizard Lord or whatever. The only benefit of this was the unit failed its fear check, and since it's Mark Nurgle, they needed 6 to hit me, so they didn't hit all that much. He wasted his hatred and stuff like that. I was able to save any of the wounds that he did to me. I was able to kill a truckload. Well, I shouldn't say a truckload. I was able to kill some of his halberdiers, which is good. But obviously they were steadfast and stubborn because of the Crown of Command with his general. They don't break and they stick it out. So it is what it is, but it's going the right direction. Over here, my chariot is so easily able to kill off that engineer, and then he turns around to look at his rest of his battle line because now it's just whatever the hell he feels like charging into. So we go to bottom of 3 after movement, and as you can see, there has been some. The beast ran around to try to start harassing stuff, mostly steam tank. My knights tried to charge his knights and failed. No, I'm sorry. My knights tried to charge a great swords and failed, which sucked. I needed like an 8 to hit him, and I rolled a 6, and that sucks because now the Tzeentch knights are in perfect position for the steam tank to flank charge me. So, foobar, right? Meanwhile, the Tzeentch Warriors charge into the Inner Circle Knights and hit them. Khorne Warriors charge into the Great Swords and hit them. And my, my Chariot decides charging into the flank of his Great Swords is a great idea because I was going to send him in there to kill off his BSB and to try to kill off as many of the Great Swords as I could because I was hoping that the more Great Swords I killed, the fewer attacks he'd get back and not just murderate my poor Khorne Warriors. There's a better picture of Tzeentch Warriors going after the Inner Circle Knights, trying to finish off what they started. And there's a better picture of the Khorne Warriors making their charge, and the Tzeentch Knights failing, which really hurt. And there's a better picture of the Tzeentch Chariot slamming into the flank of the Greatswords. No idea why I took 2 pictures of that. Oh, yep, and I forgot. My Sorcerer Lord did try to charge this last Hellblaster gun because I was, worried about it shooting again, and I failed by a landslide. It was really unfortunate. During the magic phase, the beast is able to get his spell off on the steam tank. My opponent just let it go, and he's able to put after he takes all the toughness checks, he rolls 2 6s. So he ends up putting 2 wounds on the steam tank, which is great. And now the steam tank causes fear, but whatever. It's got 2 wounds on it. It's down to 8. Yay, manageable! Also, during the magic phase, I'm able to get Bolt of Change off on his Hellblaster Volley Gun. Unfortunately, I'm only able to do 1 wound to it. Silly D3. And it makes its toughness check easily and is now got a 6-up regen, which is a little poopy. During the magic phase, I'm able to get the Infernal Gateway off on the Steam Tank. It's not that great, though. I end up giving him a 6-up regen and only doing 1 more wound to it. So now it's at 7, which is good because now he's got a 1/3 chance of misfiring, but it's still a Steam Tank. The misfire chart is pretty lenient. And there's nothing happening in the shooting phase, so we go into combat, and my Tzeentch Warriors are able to take down 1 more Inner Circle Knight, which was nice, but he makes his break check. He needed a 3 to stay, and he makes it. So these Inner Circle Knights, man, they really owned it this game. You know, they got beat to crap and flame warped and everything like that. They ended up losing combat and fleeing. They needed snakes to rally. They rally, and then the one guy that's left is like, you're gonna have to effing kill me because I ain't fleeing anymore. My horse is tired. My butt hurts. So, damn, right? Over here in combat, it is bloody. I end up losing 7, 8, 9, 10 of my Corn Warriors. He ends up losing like 15 of his Great Swords and his BSB. No, not his BSBs, but just a ton of damage is done in this combat. I think I end up winning this combat, but he's steadfast and he sticks it out, or stubborn anyway. But holy wow, what a huge, great combat this was. And then over here, we're just grinding at each other. I'm able to slip a poison wound through on his battle wizard lord, which is cool. But I do lose a Nurgle Knight, which sucks. He ends up losing a handful more halberdiers. They're stubborn and they stick it out. So we go to top of 4 after movement, and as predicted, the steam tank is easily able to slam into the Tzeentch Knights, which spells their doom. And the Hurricane moves over just enough so that it can try to stay out of my overrun, just in case the Great Swords break. And he was worried also about my Sorcerer trying to charge the Hurricane. Other than that, everything's either in combat or dead. Oh, yes, and his steam tank did misfire because he rolled an 8 when he only had 7 wounds left, but it ends up he generated like 4 steam points, and he rolled a 1 on the D3, so it's a total of 5. It was like, yeah, you fizzle, so he's got like 2 steam points left, which is enough to grind, which is what I'm not looking forward to. There's a better picture of the steam tank slamming into the Knights, which poop. During his magic phase, I'm able to stop all of his spells, but with 2 dice left and I have none left, he's able to get his 5-up board save off on his Halberdier unit, which sucks. And then he's able to get a 5-up board save off on his great weapon guys, which sucks. You know, he had 1 die each to throw at it, and I was out because I had stopped the rest of his spells, and he 1 dices a 5-up board save on both of his units. Really sucked. During his shooting phase, the Hellblaster gun turns and fires at Lord Tremendous, shoots like 18 shots at him, and gets 2 wounds through on him. I survive by the skin of my teeth, which, oof, really, the pucker factor was like level 12 here. Oof, that made me nervous. Yeah, obviously combat comes along, and the steam tank just thunder screws my knights. Lady Elizabeth ends up losing this combat by a boatload and then some. She needs like a 3 to stay. I take 2 shots at it, fail, and she explodes because when a BSB has to flee, it becomes volatile and explodes. So that sucks. In combat over here, my Corn Warriors do a lot of damage, and they do like 6 or 7 wounds. It was glorious, but he makes so many reward saves. I think only like 4 guys die. The bonus thing, though, is my Tzeentch Chariot guys are able to kill his BSB. They just put all their attacks into him. 2 slip through, and he dies, so that's huge. So his BSB is dead. 4 more Greatsword guys die. They lose this combat, but they're stubborn, and they don't go anywhere. So, but it's still going my direction, although I'm pretty sure my Corn Warriors are dead next turn. Over here in combat, I don't know what happens. 3 of my knights die. I only kill a couple of his halberdier units. I kill like 1 halberdier. I ended up putting another wound on his battle lord, but he's got 3, damn it. And yeah, I lose this combat and I break. The Nurgle Knight that was left is the banner, so he dies. But Cass, he's able to run and get away to survive another round, right? Just long enough for them to charge him again if he rallies, but hey, you know, I'm holding on to hope. Over here in combat, the final Inner Circle Knight dies, and I gotta be honest with you, the guy earned my respect. For the moment, it's gone now, but at the time I was like, well done, sir. Well done, Inner Circle Knight. You did not want to die. Eventually he did, because all must succumb to my wrath, but oof, what he made me earn it with that guy. So, with all that wrapped up, we go to bottom of 4 after movement, and you're looking at it. For the most part, none. My Cass, my Nurgle Exalted Hero, he rallies and turns to face the Halberdier unit that I'm 100% sure is going to charge me and kill me next turn. My Sorcerer Lord does finally make it into combat with the Hellblaster Volley Gun, and just to keep the Steam Tank in place, the Mutalith charges it in the flank, and the idea was just hopefully get some wounds put through so that it keeps on misfiring, and maybe I'll get lucky. There's a better picture of Cass rallying, which I'm thrilled with. And, oh yeah, I'm sorry, my Tzeentch Warriors slammed into the Greatswords. I'm sorry, it's getting late, I'm tired, it's past my bedtime. But yeah, there's hope there. I'm really hoping that I'm able to kill off the rest of the, Greatswords before my Khorne Warriors die. And there's a better picture of the Beast slamming into the Steam Tank. And it's not the intention to actually kill the Steam Tank, it's just to hold it in place so it doesn't barrel roll through my Warriors. And there's a better picture of the Sorcerer Lord slamming into the Hellblaster Volley Gun, because it has to die. During my magic phase, I'm able to get Infernal Gateway off onto Hurricanum and obliterate it from existence, which I'm thrilled about. Now the damn Greatswords don't have a +1 to hit, and I get some points for the Hurricanum. Always a good thing. During combat, it is glorious. I kill everything except for, like, I think his Warrior Priest might still be alive, and one Greatsword, which is just fine. They're stubborn, they don't have a reroll anymore. I ended up losing one Khorne Warrior. That's how good this combat went for me. I was so happy. And to make matters even better, the remaining Greatsword guy flees, dies because he's the banner. I'm able to run down the Warrior Priest, so I've got 2 Khorne Warriors, my Tzeentch Chariot, and my Tzeentch Warriors all over, or pursue. I think the Chariot catches them, and yes, so many points, just like eating a perfect marshmallow, just it felt so good inside, just so good. Not everything went perfect, though. Unfortunately, my Sorcerer Lord slamming into the Hellblaster Volley Gun whiffs like a champ. In return, the crew, the Hellblaster Volley Gun crew, whiff in return. They lose his combat, but as you can see, he rolls a 4 and makes his break check. During combat over here, the Beast is able to scratch the hell out of the Steam Tank's paint. Unfortunately, underneath all that paint is 17 feet of folded steel, and I do no damage to the Steam Tank. Not a surprise, but at least the stupid thing's not going anywhere now. So, we go to top of 5 after movement, and as you can see, there's really only been a little bit. His Halberdier unit threw me for a loop. Instead of charging, my Exalted Hero, Cass, they do a swift reform, turn their back on him, he dares me to charge him, and he turns around because he's trying to get a hold of my Knights or my Warriors or something like that for bigger points. His Steam Tank is able to grind a couple more wounds onto the Mutalith, but the Mutalith survives, so I feel pretty good about that. And other than that, everything else is either dead or in combat. His magic doesn't do anything, and his shooting is pretty much dead or in combat, so we go into combat, and the Sorcerer Lord does not whiff this time, is able to kill off the crew, and the ensuing panic check for the engineer has him fleeing, which is awesome. Over here in combat, I ended up doing nothing. The Steam Tank turns to face because he had a steam point left over, and now it's like, okay, I don't know why he turned to face him, but whatever, I'm screwed anyway. So, we go to bottom of 5 after movement, and you're pretty much looking at it. My Khorne Warriors, the 2 remaining ones, go after the fleeing engineer, because if he rallies, I want the Khorne Warriors to charge him. If he continues to flee, as long as he doesn't flee out of their charge range, they're going to charge him and try to get him off the table so I can get the 12 points that he's worth. The Sorcerer Lord and the Chariot turn to try to look at the Halberdier unit, and Cass kind of runs around to maneuver a charge on the Halberdier unit if my magic and everything is able to whittle them down enough to where it's a feasible charge. Over here, I am able to get treason off on them, and the hopes is if I do enough damage and magic that they'll have to take a break check at the Halberdier's leadership, not at the generals, hopefully fail it, and hopefully flee, perhaps even continue to flee, do the treason, run off the table, give me those points, and the solid victory, the massacre, if you will. That was the reasoning behind getting treason off. That's all the magic I'm able to get off. There is no shooting because all I have is Flaming Breath and nothing's in range. So this beast vents his fury on the 17 feet of folded steel that is the Steam Tank, does nothing to it, and it's all over but the crying for my poor boy now. So we go to top of 6 after movement, and yeah, for the most part, nothing really. His halberdier units stay right where they're at. The corn warriors, or the engineer guy rallies, and his steam tank is able to grind my beast into oblivion. It's a shame, but it is what it is. Yeah, there's a better picture of the Mulith Beast getting killed by the steam tank. Breaks my heart every time. But it was a calculated risk. I knew that the Beast would probably get killed by the steam tank, but at the same time, I also knew that if the steam tank was allowed to go and slam into the warriors, or my sorcerer lord or anything like that, something much more expensive would die. So what I was able to do was keep the steam tank, right where it's at until uh, the last possible second, I guess. I don't feel good about it because I lost a beast, and I'm sorry, beast. I'm sorry. But I guess it was probably the right choice because my warriors and everything do survive, and that steam cannon is now completely out of position to do anything but, I don't know, try to survive. There's a better picture of his last engineer rallying, which I guess is good for him. During his shooting phase, the steam tank fires at the corn warriors. He's got a beautiful flank shot at them. The ball bounces perfectly and hits both corn warriors. He rolls to wound, and he rolls a 6 and a 1. One corn warrior survives. The banner bearer. Oh, banner pole holder. Sorry, I gotta get a damn icon on that thing. I'm working on it. Leave me alone. But yes, one corn warrior survives. I was so thrilled. So we go to bottom of 6 after movement, and as you can see, the corn warrior charges the engineer, and my social lord runs over to try to just pot shot the stupid steam tank for the life of him, and that's it. Everything else pretty much stands still because Cass is not going in at halberdiers, the chariot is not going in at halberdiers, and the Zinch warriors are not going into the steam tank because that's just stupid. There's a better picture of the corn warrior slamming in the engineer. Just try to get that last few points before the end of the game. During the match phase, I'm able to get bolt change off on the on the steam tank, and I end up making it take. It's up to 6 wounds now. Well, I've taken 6 wounds off on it, not enough to kill it, but it does make its toughness check, and now has a 5-up regen, which is poop. And then we go into combat because I'm not going to bother breathing fire on the stupid thing, because even if I do the maximum amount of wounds of 1 to it, it's not going to die. And as you can see, obviously, the final corn warrior appeases the gods, kills the engineer, and offers up his skull to the blood god, because that's what corn wants, blood and skulls. And that's it. That's bottom 6. That's the end of it. This is what the end of the board game looked like. The halberdiers are still on the table. The steam tank's still on the table. Everything else on the table that's human is chaos. So all in all, it was a really good game. I was very happy with the way this army played out. Even with some things not going my way, it still was really able to hold its own, which is good because I need a crutch. But you know what? We'll get into the recap in a minute, because right now it's time for a quick timeout. Token time, everybody. Tokens. Check them out. All the tokens you could need for anything that you could possibly play. Warhammer 40k, Infinity, Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Infinity, Malifaux, whatever you need tokens for, Token Gal can make the tokens. They're dirt cheap, guys. No more than $8 for a set, but they're solid gold quality. I mean, these are glass beads. They magnify the picture and the words. You've got wound counters. You've got status effects. You've got spell effects. +1 toughness, -1 strength. Whatever you need. She's got all the magic lores. She's got everything you need for any system that you play. She's got a email address you can send and be like, hey, I'm looking for this. And now she has a website. It's there at the bottom. I'm not going to bother reading it off, because if you can't read, what the hell are you doing on the internet? Just seriously, though, check her out. Check out her website. Order yourself some tokens. It's totally worth it. You won't regret it. Hey guys, I know I've already talked to you about this before, but you should really check these pictures out because they were all painted, including my model, by Unleashed Wargaming. And they have their email right up there at the top of the page, and they've also got it down there. They got a YouTube channel. He's working on a website. It's not quite ready yet, but yeah, really, if you get a chance, check these guys out. If you're looking for someone to paint your stuff real good, seriously, check these guys out. Go to his, send him an email, check out his YouTube page. It's really worth your time. It's a phenomenal job. It's quick, it's painless. You don't have to worry about painting your stuff. And soon I'll be running a model that these guys painted for me, and I'm very excited about that. But check out these pictures. Give this guy an email. Check him out on YouTube. Get your models painted by him if you can. It's totally worth it. And tell him Tremendous sent you. Real quick before we get into the recap, though, guys, I've already said this in the last battle report, but I'm going to continue saying it probably on and off in the battle reports until the day comes. I'm going to the Rocks War GT in September 12th and the 14th to be exact. If you're going to be there, you're going to be in the area, just want to come and say, hey, I'd love to meet you. Come on by. I'd love to shake your hand. Hopefully we can get a game in, or maybe we can just buy each other a drink and just BS about our war stories. If you got anything about the channel you'd like to say, in person or whatever, by all means, I'm always open to suggestions. Constructive or not, criticism is always allowed. But yeah, it should be a real amazing GT. My round 5 opponent, Cass, the one who my Nurgle Exalted Hero was named after, he's actually helping design the terrain and some of the tables and stuff like that. The guy is a wonderful artist. It should be a really cool turnout. I've heard rumors, I don't know for sure, but I've heard rumors that a bunch of podcast people are going to be there. Skull Bros, possibly Garage Hammer, possibly Point Hammered. These are all really good podcasts too. So if you're into podcasts, go to iTunes, check them out. They're free. These guys are really awesome. They got some really good insights. They're funny as hell. They really do run the GT circuit, so they know what they're talking about. These are good players. So, come on by, and not even just to say hey, although I'd love to meet you. I'm small time compared to some of these podcast guys. Maybe meet them too if you're into them. If I hear about anybody else cool that's going, I'll be sure to let you know. But by all means, swing by, join up, get in there. I'd love to play a game at you. I'd love to meet you. RockWarsGT.com. Go check it out. In the end, it was a close one, but it was a victory for Lord Tremendous. Yay! The Warriors of Chaos, I ended up losing Lady Elizabeth, which broke my heart. My Warhounds, which my heart was okay with. Both units of Knights, which my heart was kind of confused with. And the Beast, heartbroken. The Empire guys ended up losing 2 Engineers, 1 Warrior Priest, his BSB, 2 Volley Guns, Great Swords, Inner Circle Knights, although, man, I had to earn it with them, and his Celestial Hurricanum. Those Inner Circle Knight guys were no joke. Holy, I've never seen Inner Circle Knights do that well. Anything, any Bretonnian knight that, well, okay, granted, maybe the ones, the Bretonnian knights, but no other knight, elf, human, whatever, has ever given me that much trouble before. I was very impressed with my opponent's ability to use those things, and, his dice rolling was really nice, too. But wow, Inner Circle Knights are going to definitely get special attention from me from now on. The Warrior Priests and that 5-up ward save thing, it's not garbage. It's very, very cool ability, but man, it sucks when it works for him. Really, really slowed down my killing of humans, which is just rude. That damn volley gun that almost killed my Sorcerer Lord. Oh man, my pucker factor. It was over 9,000. 12 was probably too low. It was way over 9,000. Thanks Zinch it didn't get that last wound through. That would have sucked. There was some really epic combats in this game too. Really good game for that. The Warriors, Chaos, and the Chariot versus the Greatsword. Brutal combat. Cass and his knights versus a legion of friggin' halberdiers. Crazy cool combats in this one. One went my way, one didn't. Very even, very cool game. Very, very cool game. Khorne Warriors were badass to the very last warrior through a combination of just skill, luck, and then in the end, tenacity. That bastard got hit by a cannonball. His buddy dies, and he's like, not today. That engineer's gotta die. Ooh, I like my Khorne Warriors. But yeah, it was a great game. Don't get me wrong, thrilled that I won. Fantastic combat. Just literally legendary combat. And I can't wait for the rematch. But yeah, guys, that's going to do it for this battle report number 111. Wow, I've made a lot of them, huh? But I hope you guys are still enjoying them as much as I am. I have no intention of stopping, so petition all you want. It's not going to happen. I'm kidding. There's no petition. Sorry, you can't sign anything. But as always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, feel free to put them in the comment section below, and I will get to you as quick as I can. But as always, thanks.